Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nate from Bizreport, and if you're watching this, you probably have a big idea. Maybe you're finally ready to turn that side hustle into a real business, or maybe you're just already operating but you want to get serious about legal protection. So you want to form an LLC in California in 2026. Well, first off, congratulations. Taking that first step, formalizing your business is huge, but let's be honest for a second. California's unique. It's a state with massive opportunities, but when it comes to forming a business, it has its own set of rules, its own specific costs, and yes, some very specific taxes you won't find in other states like Wyoming or Delaware. So today we're going to do a deep dive, and I'm not just going to give you a 3-step list and send you on your way. We're going to do a full walkthrough in the entire process of forming a California LLC in 2026, step by step. And more importantly, because I know that the costs in California can be scary, we're going to spend a half a second on this video talking about the good stuff, the write-offs. We're going to talk about how to keep more of your hard-earned money in your pockets using the tax benefits available to LLC owners. So grab a notebook, maybe a coffee, or if you're in California, a green drink, and let's get into the nitty-gritty of building your business empire in the Golden State. So before we file a single document, we need to answer the question, why an LLC? And specifically, why a California LLC? So here at Bizreport, we look at an LLC or limited liability company as an absolute sweet spot for most small business owners. It sits right in between the sole proprietorship and a corporation. So here's the thing. If you just start selling cookies or consulting services tomorrow without forming an entity, you're a sole proprietor. That's easy, sure, but it's risky. If someone sues your business, they can come after your personal house, your car, your personal savings, etc. Well, the LLC changes that. It creates a corporate veil and it separates you from the business. This limited liability protection is the #1 reason to file it. It means that your personal assets are generally safe from your business debts and lawsuits. But here's the 2026 reality check for California. You might have heard people say, oh, I'll just form an LLC in Nevada or Delaware to save money. Well, if you're doing this business in California, meaning you live here or your office is here or you make sales here, you generally have to register in California anyway. If you form a Nevada LLC but operate in Los Angeles, you have to register for Nevada LLC as a foreign LLC in California. And guess what? You end up paying fees to both states. So for most of you watching who live and work in California, forming a domestic California LLC is the correct compliant path. Now, let's talk about money. And this is usually where people get nervous about California, and rightly so. In fact, our team is planning a dedicated deep dive video breaking down all those complex gross receipt tiers and hidden fees. If that's something you want to see, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop the comment below letting us know that you're interested so we can make that video for you. However, you don't need to watch that right this second. To understand the rest of this video, you just need to know about the big 3 numbers. Here is your executive summary for the cost. First is the filing fee, and this is the cover charge. To file your articles of organization with the state, it's a one-time fee of $70. Second is your statement of information for $20, and this is your maintenance fee. You pay this within the 90 days of forming, and then every 2 years. It's small, but mandatory. And the last is annual franchise tax. And this is the one you need to memorize. California charges a mandatory $800 yearly tax to the franchise tax board. And remember, you pay this even if you make $0. It is the price of admission for doing business in the Golden State. So keep that $800 figure in your head, but remember, these are just the bare minimum mandatory government fees to simply register the entity. To get your LLC fully operational, additional costs will apply. So depending on your business structure, you might choose to hire professional registered agent service, which can run you about $100 to $300 a year. And on top of that, securing your local business license and industry permits can easily cost you another couple of $100s. So you need to factor in these setup and recurring operational costs before you launch. Don't just let these numbers scare you. Later in this video, I'm going to show you how to completely offset these expenses using tax advantages that most new owners don't even know exist. But first, let's look at how we can build this entity from scratch. So let's jump into the physical checklist. Now we need to talk about the actual formation process, the forms, the clicks, and the specific filings. I'm going to be honest with you, California Secretary of State's website, BizFile Online, has a lot of specific boxes you need to tick. In fact, we're already planning a detailed click-by-click tutorial to walk you through that portal in real time. And if you want to see that technical walkthrough, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you catch the second it drops. But before you ever log into BizFile, you need to know exactly what you're preparing for. And based on our latest 2026 data, here is a complete high-level checklist on what you need in order to form your LLC and stay compliant. First, we have name availability. Now, picking a name isn't just about being creative. Your LLC must satisfy two strict conditions. It has to be distinguishable, and it must be completely compliant with state law. So first, it must be distinguishable. You cannot just guess if your name is available. You need to use the California Business Name Search tool and look up the desired name and compare it against existing companies already on file with the state. If it's too similar to an active business, your application will get rejected instantly. And second, it must comply with state law. California has very strict naming restrictions. For starters, your name including an LLC designator like limited liability company or abbreviations LLC. Furthermore, you cannot just use any words related to corporations like corp or inc. You're also legally barred from making your LLC sound like it's a bank or a trust or an insurance company or a part of a government agency, and this misleads the public. Finally, you cannot use words reserved for licensed professionals such as accountants, architects, attorneys, dentists, engineers, unless you have the proper state license to back it up. Second is your registered agent, and you legally cannot file without one, and this is your official point of contact for legal documentation. You can appoint yourself, partner, or professional service, but remember the golden rule: no PO boxes allowed. You must provide a physical street address in California where someone is available during normal business hours. The third, we have articles of organization. It's important to note that California only allows you to file this document online through its BizFile portal. The old paper forms are officially a thing of the past. And this online filing is where you legally register your company name, management structure, and your registered agent. So the state filing fee is a flat $70, which you pay directly through the portal with a credit card to get your LLC officially approved. And fourth, your operating agreement. Even though California doesn't require you to submit this document to the state, we cannot stress enough its importance. This is your internal guidebook that rules how your business is managed. And to put the agreement together, you can either hire a business attorney, draft it for yourself, or simply go to the description below and download our free professionally designed templates to get it started the right way. All right, number 5, we have your EIN. So think of this as your social security number for your business. Once the state approves your LLC, you need to go straight to the IRS website to get your EIN. It's completely free, takes about 15 minutes online, and you'll absolutely need it to open a business bank account, hire employees, and use it to pay and file your taxes online, and so much more. Number 6 is the statement of information. Now, this is the crucial step that people often forget. You are required to submit an initial statement of information online within 90 days of your LLC approval, along with a $20 fee. After that, it becomes a recurring obligation that you must file every 2 years to keep your business in good standing. Number 7, we have the initial $800 franchise tax payment. And this is the compliance requirement that catches most new owners off guard. So in California, your very first mandatory $800 franchise tax payment is due within 4 months and 15 days following your LLC's approval, and the month your LLC was formed counts as month number 1. For example, if your LLC is approved on April 15th, your first $800 tax is strictly due by August 15th of the same year. After that initial payment, this tax must be paid yearly moving forward by April 15th. Now, with this kind of strict deadline structure, it's incredibly easy to accidentally trigger 2 annual franchise payments in the very short amount of time, costing you $1,600 in total. For instance, if you form your LLC in October 1st, your first $800 payment is due February 15th. Then, just 2 months later on April 15th, you have to pay another $800 for the next year. But don't panic just yet. In the next section, I'm going to give you a quick inside tip so you can time your filing perfect and completely avoid paying this double tax in such a short window. Number 8, we have local business licenses and permits. So while California doesn't have a single general state level business license, you aren't off the hook just yet. So depending on your specific city, your county, your industry, you will need local permits to operate legally. Plus, if you plan on selling tangible goods, you must structure a seller's permit from the California Departments of Tax and Fee Administration so you can legally collect sales tax. So before we move on, I want to share a specific timing warning that could save you an immediate $800. And it comes down to the exact month you choose to form your LLC. So many new entrepreneurs assume that their first $800 annual franchise tax isn't due until April 15th the following year. But in California, that's not how it works. The state actually requires your very first tax payment within the 4th month and 15 days of your LLC's approval. And here's the catch. California defines tax year by the calendar year, not by how many months your business has actually been open. So for example, if your LLC is approved on November 1st, 2026, you officially exist in the eyes of the state for the 2026 tax year. But because of that, your first $800 payment is due within 4 months and 15 days, which sets your deadline for March 15th, 2027. But remember, the standard tax for the next calendar year, 2027, is due just 1 month later, April 15th, 2027. Now let's look at that timeline. You form November, you pay $800 by March 15th, and then another $800 April 15th. That's $1,600 out of your pocket almost instantly for a business that it's only active a couple of weeks at the end of the year. Fortunately, there is a unique loophole built into this system called the 15-day rule. So if you file your LLC within the final 15 days of December, being December 17th to the 31st, and you conduct absolutely zero business during those couple of weeks, California will actually waive the tax for that initial year. Also, if it is late in the year, like October, November, or early December, and your business does not need to start opening immediately, do not submit on BizFile just yet. By waiting for the new calendar year, your very first $800 payment will buy you a full 12 months of legal protection and business runaway rather than just a few weeks. So we're officially in the home stretch. You've formed your LLC in California, you know how to maximize your write-offs, but what exactly do you need to do to keep this business machine running smoothly? Now, it's important to understand that compared to almost every other state, California has significant more restriction deadlines and complex compliance obligations to keep track of. Missing even one can result in massive financial penalties. So you'll want to pay very close attention to the post-formation checklist. So first, open a dedicated business bank account. Now, it's important to know that California law does not legally require you to have an LLC business bank account, but however, doing this is absolutely your number one independent priority the moment your LLC is approved. You must isolate your company funds from your personal money. We cannot emphasize this enough. If you mix personal groceries or gas with your business accounts, you're commingling funds. The moment the court sees that, you risk piercing the corporate veil, which legally strips away your legal liability protection and exposes your personal house and savings to business lawsuits. It is a critical task you must handle for your own protection. The second is to file your statement of information. So after your initial 90-day filing, you're required to submit this document online through BizFile every 2 years. It only costs $20, but forgetting it triggers an immediate $250 penalty from the state. Third, pay the $800 franchise tax. This mandatory fee must be paid yearly moving forward by April 15th. Remember, it is due every single year, even if your business generates zero revenue or even ran at a loss. Number 4, pay the estimated LLC fee, Form 3536. So if your LLC scales quickly and your gross amount of revenue hits $250,000 or more, California will charge an additional estimated fee on top of your base $800 tax, which is a tier fee by the 15th of the 6th month of your current tax year. Number 5, you must file Form 556, the LLC return income, with the California Franchise Tax Board to officially report your overall gross receipt and ensure you're paying the correct state tiers. Number 6, renew applicable state and municipal business licenses. So do not forget your local government obligations. Most cities and counties in California require you to renew your local business tax registration and municipal operations licenses on an annual basis to avoid heavy local penalties. Number 7, file other federal and local taxes. So beyond the state level, you still have federal income taxes and quarterly estimated taxes, Form 1040-ES, and the mandatory federal BOI report to handle. Because of these moving parts can get incredibly complicated, we highly recommend working with a professional accountant or a CPA from day one to ensure your business stays 100% compliant. So we've covered a massive amount of ground today. We looked at the $70 filing fee, the initial $800 tax trap, the importance of an operating agreement, and incredible financial power of the qualified business income deduction and startup write-offs. It sounds like a lot of work, and honestly, it is. California definitely tests your commitment as an entrepreneur. So, forming an LLC in the Golden State is so much more than just paperwork. It's about legitimacy. It's about protecting the personal assets and the life you are working so hard to build. It is about protecting the personal assets and the life you are working hard to build. It's about officially upgrading the mindset from just casual hobby to serious enterprise. Yes, that $800 annual tax fee is annoying, but the bulletproof liability protection and the professional credibility you gain with clients, partners, and banks, that is absolutely priceless. So here's my challenge to you. If you've been sitting on the fence, don't let bureaucracy paralyze you. Use this video as your definite game plan. Head over to the state's BizFile online portal right now, run a quick availability search to check out your dream business name, and grab our free operating agreement template in the description below to clear your path. So if you found this deep dive helpful, please hit that like button. It generally helps our team produce more of these financial guides. And if you have any questions about specific California tax forms, deadlines, or filings, drop a comment down below. Our team will do our absolute best to point you in the right direction. So good luck building your business empire in 2026. Go make it happen.